us on Facebook at Dante A. Long. Follow us on Instagram at Dante Long. Follow us on YouTube at Dante A. Long. Thank you for tuning in to Longtalk.
Good evening, and welcome to Longtalk on this wonderful Tuesday evening. And I trust your week has gotten off to a good start this week. And I trust that you are ready for another Long Talk. And remember that Long Talk is an effective way for us to communicate and to resolve whatever it is that we need to discuss. And today is no different. We are ready for a wonderful Long Talk. So call a friend, call a neighbor, and let them know that Long Talk is on. And we have another meaningful dialogue. And while you're doing that, many of you are watching tonight and watching for the very first time. So I want you to do us a favor here and connect with us here at Long Talk. You can do so on just about all of the social media platforms. You can do it here on Facebook by going and liking and sharing, and perhaps even doing a watch party. Or if there is somebody you know tonight that needs to see this, why don't you go ahead and tag their name in the comments here on Facebook. And then on Instagram, many of you that are following us there on Instagram, thank you so much. Staying engaged with us concerning all that we do here at Long Talk. And those that are on Twitter that keep the conversation going many times after our Long Talks, for the extra Long Talks that many do when they tweet us and ask many questions after the show. Thank you so much. Continue to follow us on Twitter. And then we're always grateful for our YouTube family that's always subscribing and sharing the information. And thank you so much for all of our friends and family that watch us on YouTube. Make sure you hit that notification bell. Make sure you hit that notification bell so that you can stay up to date and stay engaged with our Long Talk on this evening. All right. All right, well, tonight we are so happy, and I mean we're happy because we have another wonderful guest tonight. This wonderful young lady is an author of a very, very intriguing book that we're going to talk about tonight. And she has written this book, and it's hot off the press. We're thankful that she's taken the time out of her very busy schedule. And the reason why she's very busy is because she is she does software management. She controls a lot of the databases that you and I utilize on a daily basis through many companies. She is one of the leading people in her industry of what she does. She serves in the capacity of a local church by doing an array of tasks and duties. And on top of that, she is a mother of 2 twin boys. So she's got a lot of hats on her head. And so tonight she took the time to come on and talk to us. And Long Talk family, please do me one favor and help me welcome our guest tonight. She's known as Tanya the author, but her name tonight for us is Miss Latanya Alexander. Good evening. How are you tonight?
Good evening. I'm well. How are you? I'm so glad to be here.
I'm doing well as well. And thank you so much for taking the time to come on and talk to us tonight.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Oh, goodness. I'm just happy that you took the time out of your busy schedule to come on and talk to us. And you're here tonight. And so thank you so much for talking to us tonight.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Listen, before we get into this, even though we introduce you, there are many people in our Long Talk audience that may not know exactly who you are. And I try to do my very best to introduce you. But take just a few moments and let our audience know exactly who you are tonight.
Okay, great. Well, my name, again, is Latanya Alexander. I have a pseudonym for my book. It's Tanya A., which a lot of people call me that as well. But me, as Pastor Long said, I am a mother of 2 twin boys, Caden, who the book is penned for, and Carter. I am a software engineer at a Fortune 500 company. So as you said, I stay busy. And I'm also a member of All Nations Life and Praise Church, where my pastor is Pastor Keith Brooks.
Pastor Keith Brooks. Don't know if he's watching, but shout out to Pastor Keith D. Brooks,
Woo.
good friend of ours. We thank God for him and his ministry there. But tonight you're here because you did write a book.
I
You
did.
you have penned this book and receiving a lot of traction, if I may say so myself, all over social media. We see this book popping up. And tonight, I really just want to ask you, first of all, what caused you and what made you write this book, if I may ask? What made you write this book?
Sure. So my kids are pretty young, and when they were around preschool age, around 3 or 4, they like, most kids like books.
Sure.
So when I was looking for books, I didn't find many books that would appeal to them and
Mm-hmm.
would capture their interest, and especially not a lot of books with African American children.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I decided, okay, they have, if you're familiar with preschool, they have a list of words. They're called Dolch sight words that they have to
Mm-hmm.
learn. And these are just common words in the English language to start people off reading. So
Right.
the book is geared towards early readers, whether you're preschool, if you're an adult that doesn't know how to read.
Mm-hmm.
This is the perfect book for you because it has that first list of sight words that you'll need, and it puts it in a format that's easy to read and engaging.
Mm. Mm.
That was my inspiration for it. And you're learning your sight words, but at the same time, you're on an adventure. I like to say with Caden, my son, who
Mm-hmm.
likes to read himself. So you're on an adventure with him, and he's teaching you and showing you all the different types of books he likes and where he can get books. And at the same time, we pull in family in the
Right.
book as well.
Right. Right. So I guess this book, Caden Loves to Read, is a book that is just really helping. Can we be honest of what you just said? Not only kids understand sight words, but even adults that may want to, uh, unfortunately, may not be able to read or not reading with all levels of fluency. And
Right.
so this is a book that you said is really designed for both kids and adults, right?
Right, it is. I just say early readers. So if you don't know how to read at any level, at any age, this is a perfect book for you. It's fun, it's engaging, it'll keep you interested from beginning to end. If you have a short attention span, it's not very long, as most picture books are.
Sure.
It's vibrant, a lot of colorful pictures, a lot of easy words, and there are some challenging words too that
Mm.
will force you to, once you learn the easy words, you can infer from those words what the challenging words would be. So it's a little challenging as well, but it's also fun for adults. And
So, so you wrote this book, as you said, really the inspiration. Talk to me a little bit more about this inspiration with your son and why. I mean, because really, even though there's a limited amount of books that are geared to African American children and can help African American children relate, why did you deem it necessary? Why you, if someone would ask?
why not me? So with me, I've always liked to challenge myself.
Okay.
And I know that oftentimes we all sometimes get stuck in a rut and stuck in our comfort zone, don't push ourselves. And, I can buy a book.
Sure.
I can get one on my tablet or on his tablet. But this one made it kind of personable. And so when I wrote the book, I could see when it finally came here, the excitement on his face to see, okay, I have a book and this kid
Wow.
looks like me. So he was
Wow.
very excited to see that because, like I said, you don't see that. So now you're getting more and more authors out there, but they're not well known. Like if you don't know the author, you may not even ever see their book.
Sure. Sure.
So
Sure.
it's my goal to get it out there. And my ultimate goal is to get it out there to every preschool curriculum in the country. These adult sight words are taught all in
Mm-hmm.
schools everywhere, all around the country. And we can get this in preschools to give the kids another alternative book to read when they're in their center time at school. This can be a book that they can pick out to read. They can have it at home. They can even download it. Right now, it's also downloadable on Amazon on their tablets
Wow.
and
Wow.
devices.
Wow. Wow.
Mhm.
So, for those that are watching tonight, if you've not already done so, I'm going to really ask you for so many of our kids that are struggling to read. And Latanya, my wife is a public educator,
Hmm.
and many times when I'm dialoguing with her, one of the most depressing topics that she and I talk about is the fact that so many of our children struggle with sight words.
Hmm.
And most of us don't understand if they cannot uh, decode these sight words. And I know that's in the educational field, they use that word decode. If they can't pick apart, for Long Talk audience, if you can't pick apart these words and learn them, then chances are you're going to struggle with reading.
All
Why,
through
why,
life.
yeah, why do you think, why do you feel as though this is, again, I keep asking you, and one person already wrote, because you're really smart, obviously, I mean, but I want to ask you this, uh,
Why? Why
to
is that?
do this
Hmm.
really is so needed, because if we are having such a problem with so many of our black and brown boys not knowing how to read, this, in my opinion, is really significant to help them understand sight words. You agree with that?
I definitely agree with it. It's not just, teachers give you a list of words that kids have to learn, then they have a spelling test on those words, but they never really apply them
Mm-hmm.
until, it's time for the test. So you have your list of sight words, and this book has over 40 of those sight words on that list that you
Wow.
can read those words. And with sight words, it's a matter of you memorizing them.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're reading, you may see the same word a couple of times. Oh, I read
Sure.
that word 2 pages ago, so I know what that
Sure.
word is, and it still can read in context. So one of the books says, "I love red books. I love green books." You're also learning your colors because there's
Mm-hmm.
color there along with the words. So you're learning a lot with this book, and
Yeah.
it's applicable. It's not you're not just calling words out. It's applicable. You
Mm-hmm.
can remember what you read. You can read it to they can read it to them to their parents.
Sure.
Read it at bedtime.
Mm-hmm.
If they're just sitting in the car, they can pull it up, like I said, on their tablet and read it on a long ride. It's
Wow.
it's, it's just very needed.
Wow. Wow. Needed in so much so that now Caden is the focal point. Now he has something to say. My mommy has helped thousands, tens of thousands, and in a couple of days, millions of people all
Yeah,
across this country who perhaps would have no other resource, right?
it's possible. Yes, yes.
Why?
They go
Go
ahead.
ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, if this book is out there in different arenas, in different schools and libraries, kids
Mm-hmm.
can just pick it up. It's
Yeah.
it's a very inexpensive book. I priced it so that it would be affordable to anybody.
Wow. So let's talk about that just for a moment, since you brought it up. Uh, and I don't want to put you on the spot, but Latanya, how much are you pricing this book at when they go to Amazon?
Okay. On Amazon, the digital version, that's the version that you can pull up on your phone, tablet, or computer. That book is $4.99. The paperback version is $10.99. If you're ever on Amazon, they always have deals and discounts on books, so you can possibly catch them on a deal as well.
Mm.
It's very comparable to other books that are out there of this caliber, and it's maybe a little bit lower if you really take a look at it.
Wow. 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 Latanya, I'm going to take a quick break, and when we come back from this break, what I want to ask you is, how do you feel that? Well, let me ask it this way: this book, can it really open up the avenue to many other authors just like yourself? And when we come back from the break, I really want you to tackle this so that many others who may be watching this can really draw inspiration to just see if, hate to say it like this, but if Latanya can do it, why can't I do it, right?
Yeah.
We're going to take this quick break. We'll be right back.
You're sitting at the light again, late for work, with 101 different things going through your mind. Things like texting your coworker or listening to the morning drive time. When suddenly you're startled from a loud sustained hug from the rear, you're embarrassed. The light has turned green and it's time for you to go. Introducing The Road Trip. Life is a trip, so read the signs. By Dr. Joelle Trout. Stop, yield, go. Construction zone ahead. It's amazing that we have less accidents when the signs in of themselves have no power to enforce. Yet they inform, guide, direct, and warn us of the potential dangers ahead. This ebook encourages you to apply a deeper meaning to the spiritual context of these ambiguous signs so we can safely navigate through this thing called life and arrive at our destination in one piece. The Road Trip. Life's a trip, so read the signs. By Dr. Joelle Trout. Order your copy today.
Friends, we're back here tonight on Longtalk with our special guest, Miss Latanya Alexander. And before the break, we were really just having this Longtalk to stress the importance of kids understanding sight words and being able to see sight words that they may identify with. And so I told you right before the break, and I want to pick this up and ask you, if this is such a critical thing with helping our young boys and our young girls read, do you feel as though many other authors can really achieve this and produce content very similar?
I think it's entirely possible. I have a lot of friends, a lot of educators that I know that have written things, but they've sat on them because for whatever reason, they've sat on them.
Sure.
And I think this has inspired them to, pull the trigger on it. I know I had one of my sorors recently produced a book as well. Mm-hmm. And her producing her book, gave me the drive. Okay, I have this book. I'm just sitting on it. Let me get it out there because it can be useful to somebody. Yeah. And I think seeing more Black authors, seeing more female authors, seeing people doing this type of thing will definitely inspire other people that have similar ideas or different ideas to even pull the trigger on it. It's kind of like an inspiration, seeing someone like you doing something will help you or inspire you to want to do more as well sometimes.
Great. Latanya, I want to ask you this. What was your greatest opposition? What was your greatest fear in going through this journey of writing this book?
My greatest fear,
or your biggest opposition, however you want to look at it.
I guess it was with me, it's accountability.
Okay.
I had to get an accountability coach to stay on task with this. And I it was definitely useful to help me stay on task. So there was so many moving parts that you would just never know when trying to produce a book. Sure. The copywriting and the publishing and finding an illustrator. So it was a lot of moving parts, and just staying on task to get it done was the hardest part for me. But after I had momentum and I got the illustrator and then figured out what publisher I wanted to go with, everything continued to move smoothly after that.
So now that it's out and there's a lot of social media buzz around this book, Kaden Loves to Read. Talk to me, if you could be honest just for a moment. We're having a long talk. What's been the greatest inspiration that you've seen that's occurred having written this book?
Well, I guess the greatest thing I've seen is that I've given a lot of books away. I've sold a lot of books, and seeing like parents sending me pictures of their kids reading it and telling me how much the kids enjoyed it and how much they're waiting for the next book has been very, very touching, very inspirational. And it's doing what I set out for it to do. And that was to help kids and for them to enjoy reading. So that's my ultimate goal. I'm an avid reader myself. So anytime I see somebody reading, that gives me joy, especially if I've helped them, develop that joy of reading as well.
Wow. And particular, and I hate to keep bringing this point up, but it really needs to be lifted up as much as we can. With so many of our Black and brown boys and girls not reading on grade level, not having adequate reading coaching, any type of resource which you've taken it upon yourself to produce at a low charge. And I was just encouraged just a moment ago to hear you say, did I hear you correctly? You say you've given away quite a few books?
I've given a lot away.
No, you're trying to get rich off of making this book. How are you going to do that and giving them all away?
No, I mean, it'll come. right? I mean, the ultimate goal is to help people and to help
Wow.
children because they're going to be our future. You know, if we have a lot of kids that can't hardly read, I mean, where
Yeah.
is this going to go to?
Hmm.
So yeah, and then I think a lot of kids, it's not that they don't necessarily like to read, is that they're uncomfortable reading, and they're
Uncomfortable.
uncomfortable reading
Yeah.
because they haven't had a good foundation, and a good base. So
Yeah.
books like this will help them get comfortable with the easy words, and then they can progress and they'll feel accomplished. So they'll feel more comfortable reading the chapter books and bigger picture books and things like that. So this
Sure.
book I see is like a stepping stone to something greater.
Wow. And if I could just take the liberty, if when we visited your social media to see pictures of parents sitting there with their children reading the book, right?
Hmm.
Every time that you see that, do you really believe this is now giving this child a level of comfortability? Because if mom or dad was not sitting there holding the book in front of the child reading it, then perhaps a child would never want to read at all, right?
Quite possibly. But if they have a book that they can read themselves, especially when they're smaller, it will give them encouragement and confidence to want to pick another book and try to read it to their parents because they know some of the words at that point. So they're comfortable at that point.
Great, great. Well, I want to encourage all of our viewers tonight that Latanya's new release is right available right now on Amazon.
Yes,
Uh, what you're saying, over 40 sight words.
yes.
That's quite a lot for just, a digital for, $5.
Hmm.
So
Um,
really, you
yeah.
probably didn't even price this book to try to make a profit because for you to give out so many sight words, somebody's gonna say, "Wow, why didn't you just slice that in half?" But seems like you put um, a great value upon this, not just a quick hit it and keep moving.
Hmm.
With over 40 sight words, really a child can really begin to move towards grade level or really even perhaps advance to the next grade level just like that after reading the book. Would you feel comfortable saying that?
They would definitely be ready for like these. This is the first list of dope sight words. So these are for like pre-K, early kindergarten kids. So they
Mm-hmm.
would definitely be ready. They will definitely be on grade level. I am working on Carter's book at this time, which will have the
Wow.
next set of sight words for first graders. So
Mm.
I'll just keep going and progressing as the Lord leads me to keep helping our kids because, they need to know how to read because that's a skill that you're going to need for the rest of your life.
For the rest of your
And the
life.
better you can read, the better people can't trick you, the better that you can make good decisions. So reading is very fundamental. It's not a cliche.
It's not a cliche. My
Mhm.
goodness. Latanya, I want to say thank you so very much for coming on tonight. I appreciate the fact that you are just taking this really literally to talk to both children and to kids. It's true that you even got an illustrator to help with this book. Why did you find the need to even bring an illustrator on board?
Well, with kids go like they're very sensory, so they're into pictures and colors and bright things. So with this book, I wrote it first, and then I found an illustrator that could bring my words to life. So I
Mm,
worked closely with her to make sure, okay, when I say Kaden loves blue books, that the book is blue and Kaden is holding this blue book so that
mm.
kids can associate the picture, even if they can't figure out one of the particular words and they see the picture, they can associate it and figure out what that word is.
Wow.
So that's the primary reason I made it a picture book that also helps accentuate the sight words so they can better understand and make it a little more fun for them.
Wow. Wonderful. Wonderful. Latanya, somebody is saying, listen, I want to connect with you. I like what you're talking about tonight, and I really need to know more. How can they find you tonight?
You can find me on Facebook at Tanya A underscore the author.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also on Instagram with the same handle. I can be reached on my email at V as in Victor, ONAL77 @gmail.com.
Wonderful, wonderful. Latanya, because a lot of times with these shows that we produce, so many people watch them and they may never write anything in the comments, but they may reach out and say, listen, my son needs help. My daughter is really struggling. Will you help me? Can you give me more sight words, or can you point me into the direction of another author or another book or another resource, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I always believe that when many of you come on the show and when you talk about the mere fact that you're in it to help people, right?
Definitely.
Yes, you've written a publication. Yes, it cost you money to produce it. I understand. But the end goal is to help somebody. I think at this point now you've made it clear that helping our children is what's most important. Am I right about that?
Definitely. Like I said, the children, they're definitely our future. So we have to put them in the best position that we can right now, especially in their formative years when
Mm-hmm.
they can listen and they learn easily. That's the best time to get them where they need to be.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Tanya, thank you so much. Again, I want to say to our listening audience, Latanya's new release, Caden loves books. Caden loves books. And Latanya, they can go to Amazon, is that correctly?
Yeah, you can go to Amazon, pick up a digital copy, pick up a paperback copy. They're all there ready for you guys to read and have your kids read. They're a lot of fun. It's a fun read.
Wow, wow. So tonight, please, if you've not already done so, I know a lot of people in the comments have already picked up a copy. We got many people saying that they've already picked it up. Wonderful book, been a blessing to one lady said earlier to her boys. But I just know that this resource is going to help so many across the country, and really be a good tool to engage children. Because as you said earlier, most children don't like to read. It's not fun. It's not interactive.
Right.
But as again, I say that we saw on your social media alone, there are pictures, again, because pictures tell 1,000 words, where parents are sitting there reading this book with their children. And I got to be honest, I'm even going to Amazon as soon as we finish. I got to pick it up.
Oh, wonderful.
I've got a 4-year-old that I need to get him ready for kindergarten today, right? I can't wait until he's 5 and 6.
He will love it.
Yeah. So thank you so much. I want to let you know you're even helping me personally.
Well, thank you.
I want to really help my 4-year-old and want to help nieces and nephews. And I want to say to somebody who's watching, you've got family members, you've got friends with young children, preschool age, and you're just saying, oh, and how do you feel about this? Oh, we'll just wait till they get to first or second grade. Latanya, you're saying absolutely not. Why do you say that?
No, you're starting them behind already. You need to start now. Right now, most kids, 3-4-year-old, even those that can't even read yet, they like books. So get them a book. Let them, if they're not even ready to read yet, let them play with the book, point words out. My kids love to act like they were reading, even though they weren't. So when they started pre-K, and they actually got a list of words, and then you can use these exact words that your teacher gives you and buy this book, and your kid can point out those words in this book.
Wow.
Exactly words.
Wow. Wow. So again, thank you so much. We could go on and on about this, but I know your time is getting away from you and you've got other engagements tonight. But again, Latanya, thank you so very much for sharing your story with us tonight.
Thank you for having me. I so appreciate this platform.
Not a problem. Not a problem. Enjoy the balance of the evening.
You too.
Take care.
Oh, thank you.
Bye-bye. Friends, tonight in this Long Talk, I pray and I trust that you were resourced, or dare I say even blessed, by tonight's content. All of us have children. All of us are struggling. Some of us have struggled more than others to get our children reading. A lot of us really know the significance and the value of getting our children to read as fast as we possibly can. And tonight, our author, our dear sister, has given us a publication. No, I know little children just nowadays give them a PlayStation Give them an Xbox, give them some type of computer, give them some type of electronic device, let them go in the room and leave me alone. But no, listen. We need to invest the time into our children to help them learn to read, to adapt to reading with fluency. And as she said tonight, giving them sight words that they may identify and memorize. Because once they can see that they can read, we've seen it a numerous amount of times. When children really develop the lasting desire to read, it sets them on a journey for fluency and excelling in their reading. So tonight, I pray and I just trust that you will take the time to pick up this resource and will do whatever you need to do. Take some time to just read with your children. I'm talking to you, uncle. Read with your nephews. Talking to you, my dear sister. Read with your nieces. Let's have a reading party. I know we like watch parties, and we have watch parties for concerts and political events and even church and everything else. But let's have a watch party where we just read. Let's get on Facebook and read the book. Let's get on Instagram. Let's have reading parties. Nothing wrong with that. Some of our pastors did that and have been doing that during the pandemic. And I salute all of my brothers and my sisters that have been doing it. But we need more of this. So I'm just challenging everybody. Let's start reading more. All right? And the world will be a better place when we learn to read. All right? Listen, I pray you enjoyed this Long Talk. And again, connect with us. I'm going to be answering a few more questions if you have them on Instagram, on Twitter. Yield our questions to Twitter. Just go to Daunta Long on Twitter, whether you do it on Instagram, whether you do it on Facebook, whether you do it on YouTube. Ask your questions and make sure that we keep this conversation going. Let's make sure that we challenge one another to read. And most of all, we're going to do it for our kids. We're going to allow our 4-year-olds, our 5-year-olds, our 6-year-olds, maybe even the 7 and 8s. However, maybe at 3-year-olds, 2-year-olds. Listen, it does not matter. Let's get these children either reviewing these sight words or even, decoding them for the very first time. I'm really adamant about this. And so I want you to follow us tonight, even on Twitter. Let's get the conversation. Let's keep it going, if you will. All right? All right. Listen, follow us, stay connected, all that great stuff. I look forward to continuing the dialogue with you. Well, we got to go. We'll be back on Thursday night for another meaningful dialogue. I can't wait. I'll see you on Thursday night. And remember, let's keep having these meaningful dialogues. Let's keep having these long talks. They're necessary because we want to transform lives. We want children reading. All the topics that we discuss, we want to do better and become more efficient. All right? So I'll see you Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. God bless.
Follow us on Facebook at Daunta Long. Follow us on Instagram at Daunta Long. Follow us on YouTube at Daunta Long. Thank you for tuning in to Long Talk.